Hello friends, welcome back to CCSP Certified channel. Today we starting a new topic that is risk in the cloud, and that is lecture 1 of the same. Before we go into risk in the cloud, we will understand the cloud concepts, especially the virtualization concepts, and that will be help to understand the risk in the cloud. Before this I already covered three topics. Topic 1 was IAM, encryption. Topic 2 was IAM, and topic 3 was important cloud concepts. And same way, topic 4 is very important for exam perspective. You can expect around 10 to 15 questions from topic 4 also. So I will cover around 50% of the syllabus from these four topics. If you have understood it well, at least you have covered 50% of the your exam questions. So we'll cover topic 4, and the first we'll understand in this video is a virtualization concepts. So before I start to that, I will quickly cover the peace of mind, that is promotional activity by IC Square, and they conduct many exams like CISSP, CCSP, SSCP. So if you want to write their exam, best way is to avail this offer, and they release this offer almost every couple of months. So this time current offer going on. According to this, if you purchase voucher by 30th April, you can write first attempt by May 15. In case you don't qualify, you can rewrite by July 15. And it is very good offer, because if you go with the relaxed mind, you may qualify in the first attempt only. Same way I did, in a couple of my students did recently. You can see their success story on my LinkedIn profile. I will paste my LinkedIn link in this video description. In case you don't qualify, still you get a fair idea of the exam pattern, your weaknesses. So better avail this offer whenever you want to write any CCSP or IC Square exam. So for the same offer, I conduct my batches. My current batch already going on, that will finish before 10th May, and I will take 10 days gap, and I will start next batch from 19th May onward, and that will be according to next offer that will come either mid of June or end of the June month. So you will be ready when the offer comes with the preparation, because you don't get much time when offer comes. You hardly get 15-20 days to write the exam. So you can qualify it and become CCSP certified in 25 classes. And in this 25 classes, not only I give my video lectures, but also my guidance, test papers, and other materials to you that will be helpful to you qualify this one. These are the regular classes, 4 days a week from 8 a.m. to 9:15 a.m. IST. And definitely it is for working professional. I have tried to make it more flexible. I will share the recordings in case you miss the class, and I also support multilingual in case students want to discuss anything in Hindi, any discussion want in other apart from English. I support them. And if you are interested, you can write me at the ccsp certified@gmail.com. In case you are watching this video beyond these dates, you can still write me for the new batch information. The fees is currently 24,000, but you enroll before 19 May, you will may get up to 8% discount. Apart from this, there is one more video service where you can purchase the online recordings of the batches in case you cannot join the class because of the work-life balance or other constraints. And in these recordings, I will share the classroom recordings. I have shared one of the recording there. Few of my students has qualified by watching recording only. In this, apart from recording, I will share the content, PPT also, test papers, and my guidance also. You can purchase all of this in nominal rate. You can write me in case you are interested for the same. Now we come to the topic of the day, this risk in a cloud. And as I mentioned there, cloud is definitely have many benefits, but it's two side of the coins. So there are risks associated when we use the cloud, and it is necessary we understand the risk and the solution for them. It is not only required for the exam perspective, but also for your day-to-day career also, because if you are going in this field, you must understand the risk associated with the cloud. So cloud computing has several benefits: scalability, flexibility, cost effectiveness, but same time organization needs to be aware about the risk associated with the cloud, and they need to implement the appropriate security measures. So there are many risks, but we will cover majority. Those are important for exam perspective and for real life also. Risk with the virtualization and multi-tenancy related risk, data risk, loss and breach, and the solution is encryption. We have seen that we can reduce the chances of data loss and data breach via encryption, but the risk with the encryption also like key management, loss of the keys, data loss because of the improper key management. So we will also discuss those also. Vendor locking and vendor lockout, very important for exam perspective. At least one question come from this concept itself. Malicious insider and management plan, those are also very important. Privilege account management in weak IAM systems. We have seen the IAM system also in the lecture 2, topic 2, and we'll cover this in the risk in the cloud and compliance audits and legal risk. Apart from this, we'll cover the Notorious 9, NISA 8, TCS 12. These are the risks defined by various organizations, and those are also important to understand for exam perspective. So today we will cover the virtualization related risk, but before this we want to understand what is virtualization. So we have seen this in one of our video lecture that they are the few essential characteristics of the cloud, and the most important is resource pooling. We have seen that cloud is a big house. They have purchased all the resources in bulk and they are sharing them. How the sharing happens? This virtualization. Virtualization has made it possible that the big business can run their cloud in the rental model. So what is virtualization? Actually, virtualization that give a illusion to each machine that is running that they are running on the actual hardware. So virtualization is a VAM, virtualization monitoring machine monitoring, or the hypervisor is a software that sits above the hardware, and above this we can spin up many other operating systems machines. One can be on Windows, one can be on Linux, Mac, Ubuntu, Red Hat, different version of the Windows. So all can be possible with the help of VAM. So we'll understand what is VAM and how it made possible that a single machine is serving to the multiple customers, how this resource pooling worked, and this virtualization, as I mentioned, very important concept for the cloud perspective. So first we'll understand what is hypervisor. Hypervisor that we have seen as a VAM can be a piece of software, firmware or hardware, and that give an impression to the guest machine, the virtual machine, as they were operating on a physical hardware. So it allow multiple operating systems to share a single host and hardware. So hypervisor normally in market is two type 1 and type 2. What is different between this we'll understand in the next slide. So type 1 hypervisor and type 2 hypervisor. So you see that there is a hardware there, and in the type 2 hypervisor there is a host operating systems, and above this hypervisor software is installed, and above this guest machines are spin-off. In case of type 1 hypervisor, the hypervisor directly on the hardware, there is no host operating systems. There can be guest operating systems based on the guest machine above this. So we'll check the quick difference between these two. So type 1 is known as a bare metal embedded or native hypervisor. Type 2 known as a hosted hypervisor. Type 1 it works directly on the hardware of the host. There is no OS in between. Hypervisor is installed on an operating system. Type 2 one. The type 1 is its main task is sharing and managing hardware resources between different operating systems. There are different operating systems above hypervisor, and here it completely depends on the host operating system for its operations. Because there is a host operating systems, it is just, available on this one, so it's completely dependent on the host operating systems. The major advantage is that any problem in the one virtual machine or guest operating systems do not affect the other guest operating system. Very very important, because there is no OS below. Any issue in the one VM will not impact other VM. If there is a OS below, there are chances that any problem in the base operating system affect the entire systems. Single point of failure. So if the below OS is not secure, below OS get compromised, below OS get corrupt, the whole system get corrupt. There are few examples of the type 1, type 2, Microsoft Hyper-V, VMware EXI server, and therefore type 2, Microsoft Virtual PC, Oracle Virtual PCs. So type 2 you see the less secure, mainly used for the personal laptops when you want to do some POCs, you want to install Windows or Linux above Windows. You use normally the type 2 hypervisor because you already have OS installs. Industry use type 1 hypervisor because of this advantage. It increases the security of the solution. There is one more concept, containerization, very popular these days and very very important also. So you might have seen in ships, single ship can have a multiple containers, and the concept came from that perspective only. So each customer will not buy their own ship. they only place their container in the ship which will carry other customers container also. So it is same concept like containerization is first is a software de deployment process. It is not a development process, it is a deployment process. First thing to understand, we'll understand more software lifecycle development process, but it is a deployment process that bundle an application and code with all dependent files and binaries. It need to run on any infrastructure, whether it's OS, whatever the OS it is there. It bundles its libraries and dependencies and runs. And there are few example of the containerization is Docker, Rocket, LXC. They are the famous companies who's providing these services. Though we know containerization is a Docker because they are the more famous, but the actual name is containerization, not the Docker. And containerization or container is also a virtualization technique. It is also a virtualization technique the same way we have seen this type 1, type 2 virtualization. This is also a virtualization technique, though each container run isolated process and multiple containers shares a common OS. A common OS is being shared between multiple OS. This is the main difference between the virtualization, plain virtualization, VM and the containerizations. So we'll see this difference also. So if you see in the virtual machines, VM, we have infrastructure, we have hypervisor, and definitely the type 1 hypervisor. There is no host operating system here, and each guest operating systems is available, and they have apps, binary libraries in the guest OS. Each VM has own guest OS. In the containers, we have infrastructure, we have a operating system, then we have a container engine. Either it is Docker or it is LXC or any other, which is a container software container engine. And we have apps with their binary bindings. There is no operating systems above this. This is the main difference between two. And if you see that this is the main reasons for the virtualization to be more secure than the container. Otherwise, container is best to use. So you might have heard this, that native application was taking days to get deployed. VM takes minutes and containers takes milliseconds or seconds. So it is very faster to use, but still VM are good to use when the security is a bigger concern because of the operating system. So VM are heavyweight, they are lightweight, they have limited performance, they can performance based on the native code written there. Each VM runs its own OS, all containers share the OS. It makes faster to them. It is hardware layer virtualization, very important. They ask VM is a hardware level virtualization, where container is a OS level virtualization. They take minutes to start, they take milliseconds. They allocate required memory, required less memory, full isolated, hence more secure. We have seen that there is separation of the each OS, and it takes a single OS, single type of failure. So process level isolation possibly less secure. That's why VM is still good to use on the most secure critical data space. There are few questions we'll cover. Hope you have understand the virtualization concept well. There will be at least 3 to 4 questions from the virtualization concept itself. We'll see what type of questions being asked from these concepts. So first one is, what is the main reason virtualization is used in the cloud? Why we have seen that, why virtualization is being used, and we have seen that resource pooling is the main concept, and CSP want to earn profit, and virtualization help them. So definitely the main reason, as I mentioned before, also can be multiple reasons, but the best one to be select. The virtual machine are easy to administer. That's correct. But is it the main reason? They're asking the main reason. We'll see the other options. We'll park this as one of the potential answer. If VM is infected with the malware, it can be easily replaced. This also true to some extent, but still, is it a main reason? We'll see. With VMs, the cloud provider does not have to deploy entire hardware devices for every new machine. That's the correct answer. And VM are easy to operate than actual device. This is also correct. But the best one is the one, because the main purpose is the profit. CSP wants profit. That's why they are using this technique, and they have built this business because of the profit only. So VMs, they don't need to deploy the entire hardware devices for each customer. They can have single hardware shared with the multiple users via the virtualization technique. So option will be C for this question. The next one is, and the what type why this type 1 hypervisor is less vulnerable to attack than other hypervisor. So we have seen that hypervisor does not have operating system. That's the reason The answer will be 1. So because of this, the limited access and strong control over the OS greatly increase the reliability of the robustness of the Typhoon hypervisor. Type 2 hypervisor, because of the OS, is less secure than Typhoon hypervisor. The next one is, which of the following is a significant disadvantage of the containerization? We have seen the containerization of containers is the best to use because they are lightweight, they are scalable, they need less memories, but the only reason we have seen they share the single OS, and that single OS increase the risk of the security. The answer will be C. Otherwise, all this time to deploy, resource consumption, and efficiency are the advantage of the containerization. The next and second last is, in the virtualized computing environment, what component is responsible for enforcing separation between the guest machines? They are guest machines. Who is enforcing the separation between them? So we have seen that VAM or hypervisor is that software that is in between these virtualized VMs and the actual hardware, and they are the one who is performing this separation task. The answer will be hypervisor. If they give the VAM also, there's the same name, select any of this one. Last one, in this one, in the container virtualization, unlike standard virtualization, what is not included? We have seen that in an exam, we have shown previously also in exam, if there is a negative equation, they will underline this one first thing. And we have seen that in container virtualization and standard virtualization, only different was the OS, and the standard virtualization was doing the hardware, that virtualization or hardware sharing, where the container was doing the OS sharing. So in container virtualization, what is not there? The hardware emulation is not there. That is part of the standard virtualization. Otherwise, OS replication, single kernel, and multiple containers possibilities, it is there in the containerization, but the hardware emulation or the hardware sharing is part of the standard virtualization. So that's for today. I hope you have liked this one. So please like and subscribe my channel. And next we will cover more the risk in the virtualization and risk in the cloud. And those are very important for exam perspective. So subscribe my channel so you don't miss any of these videos. And if you are interested, I'm starting new batch. Write me, and you can become CSP certified. Thank you.